My wedding day was supposed to be a perfect, gilded dream. White orchids, a string quartet, the soft glow of a September sunset over the vineyard. It was until the uninvited guest arrived. Her name was Elise, my husband Leo's college sweetheart, the one he'd call the love of his life before she'd broken his heart and his bank account, vanishing to Europe 5 years ago with what was left of his trust fund. She was a ghost in our relationship, a cautionary footnote. He told me he was over her, that I was his true, real love. I believed him. She made her entrance during the cocktail hour, just as the golden light was at its most flattering. A whispered rustle went through the crowd, a wave of recognition from Leo's side of the family, followed by a sickly silence. She was devastating, a figure-hugging silver dress, hair like a dark waterfall, a smile that was all practice, nostalgic, charm. She walked straight up to Leo, who stood frozen beside me, his hand tightening on mine until my rings cut into my flesh. "Leo," she breathed, her voice a melody of faux regret and triumph. "You look incredible. I just had to come to wish you well, for old time's sake." She leaned in and kissed his cheek, leaving a faint red imprint. The air left my lungs. This wasn't a guess. This was a grenade, tossed into the center of my happily ever after. Her eyes flicked to me, and in that millisecond, I saw it. Not regret, not goodwill, conquest. She was here to mark her territory, to prove that even on my day, she was the queen he could never forget. My new mother-in-law fluttered over, a panicked smile on her face. "Elise, darling, what a surprise. We didn't know you were back." Last-minute decision. Elise purred, her gaze never leaving Leo's shell-shocked face. I just couldn't let the day pass without seeing it. It's so sweet, the ultimate condescension. My elegant, sophisticated wedding was sweet, a cupcake next to the 5-course meal she represented in his past. I felt a coldness settle over me. Cutting through the heat of humiliation, I squeezed Leo's hand back, a signal. He looked at me, his eyes wide with apology and panic. I gave him a small, steady smile. "I see her. I'm here." But inside, a plan was already forming, crystallizing with lethal speed. She wanted to play a game of nostalgia, to use the past as a weapon. Fine, but I held the remote control to the past. And I knew exactly which clip to play. You see, I'm a documentary filmmaker. My work is about finding the truths behind the curated image. And for my wedding gift to Leo, I'd secretly been compiling a video montage not just of us, but of his life. Interviews with his childhood friends, his Little League coach, his stoic father telling stories about his son's integrity. It was a love letter to the man he was, not just the man he was with me. And in my research, I'd uncovered things, conversations with people from that dark period with Elise, things Leo had been too ashamed to tell me. I'd edited a beautiful, tender 10-minute film to be played after dinner, but in my files, on a separate drive, was another clip, a raw, unedited interview with Elise's former best friend, Chloe. During the salad course, I excused myself. I went to the venue's AV booth, where my terrified but loyal assistant, Ben, was running the show. "Ben," I said, my voice eerily calm. "Change of plans. Play the main montage as scheduled, but right after the best man's toast, I need you to play the file labeled archival_clip_04B full volume on every screen." Ben's eyes went wide. That's the Chloe interview. Are you sure?" I looked out the booth window. Louise was holding court at a table of Leo's old friends, laughing too loudly, her hand resting on a stunned groomsman's arm. "I have never been more sure of anything in my life," I said. "Cue it when I give you the signal." Up, raised glass, dinner, was a surreal agony. Elise's laughter was a shard of glass in my ear. Leo was tense, silent, constantly mouthing, "I'm sorry" to me. My family glared daggers at her. Her presence had poisoned the well. Then, it was time for toasts. My father gave a beautiful, tearful speech. Leo's best man, Dave, was next. He was charming, funny, and then he turned sincere. "To Leo," he said, raising his glass, "a man of incredible loyalty and heart, who finally found the real thing after settling for less for too long." It was a glancing blow, meant for Elise. She stiffened. her smile turning brittle. It was my signal as the applause for Dave died down. I stood. I picked up my champagne flute. All eyes turned to me. Elise's gaze was a mix of curiosity and disdain. "Before we continue," I said, my voice clear and caring, my eyes meeting hers across the room, "I'd like to propose a toast as well to the past, because it shapes us." And sometimes I paused, letting a slow, deliberate smile touch my lips. "Sometimes it has a few surprises left, Ben, if you please." I raised my glass high, the crystal catching the light. The screens around the reception hall, which had just shown Dave's smiling face, went dark for a second. Then they flickered to life. It wasn't the beautiful scored montage. It was a raw, intimate interview setting. Chloe, Elise's ex-best friend, sat in a cozy chair, a glass of wine in her hand. The time code in the corner was from 3 weeks prior. The audio was crisp. My voice, off camera, asked, "Chloe, you were there for the entire relationship with Leo. What was the breaking point for you? When did you know you had to distance yourself from Elise?" On screen, Chloe took a deep breath, her face etched with old regret. "The night she told me the plan. She'd met this guy, Leo, sweet, loaded, trusting. She said, God, it makes me sick to repeat it. She said, he's my golden ticket out of this town. I'll give it 2 years, max. Get my name on some accounts, maybe a card, and I'm divorcing him for half. It's just business." A collective, sharp gasp echoed in the vineyard tent. Leo's face on the dance floor was a mask of pure, unadulterated shock. He'd never heard this. The video continued. Chloe, now crying softly. She never loved him. She laughed about it, called him her ATM with a heartbeat. When the market dipped and his trust fund took a hit, she cut her losses, took what was left and bolted. She told me she'd find a richer target in Europe. Leo was just cracked. The final blow came. My off-camera voice. And her showing up today, at the wedding. Chloe looked directly into the lens, her expression one of pure pity. She's there. It's not for closure. It's to ruin it to prove she still can. It's what she does. She's a destroyer of beautiful things. Though video ended, the screens went black. The silence was absolute. You could hear the distant chirp of crickets. Every single head in the room not to the now black screens, but to the woman in the silver dress. Elise was no longer a vision. She was a statue, her face a horrifying palette of crimson humiliation and dawning, catastrophic understanding. The curated ghost of the past had just been shown, in high definition, to be a calculated fraud. I lowered my glass, took a small, symbolic sip, and turned to face my wedding guest. My voice, when I spoke, was for her alone, but carried in the dead quiet. Elise, I said, thanks for the surprise. Here's mine. The exit is that way. Don't let the past hit you on the way out. The silence after the video ended was a physical thing, thick enough to choke on. Then, the room erupted, not in applause, but in a wave of furious, horrified whispers that crashed over Elise like a tidal wave. The genteel mask of the wedding was gone, stripped away to reveal the raw, seething truth beneath. Elise didn't move. She stood there, a statue of exposed malice in a silver dress. The imprint of her lipstick on Leo's cheek now looking like a brand of shame. The faces of Leo's old friends, who had just minutes ago been laughing with her, were now twisted in disgust and betrayal. She had been their friend once, too. Now they saw the user, the predator Chloe had described. It was my mother, a woman of southern grace and volcanic temper, who broke the tableau. She rose from her seat, a queen dismissing a jester. I believe the bride has indicated the exit, she said, her voice like chilled steel. Security will see you out. That was the cue. 2 large, professional event staff members materialized. From the sides of the tent, they didn't touch her. They simply flanked her, a wall of polite, immovable force. The message was clear. Walk or be walked. Elise finally looked at Leo, not with pleading, but with a final, venomous glare. You pathetic loser, she hissed, the melodic charm utterly gone, replaced by a guttural rage. You needed this little filmmaker to fight your battles. You always were weak. Leo, who had been standing in a state of shock, took a step forward. The shock was gone, burned away by the pure, clarifying truth of the video. His voice, when he spoke, was low and carried a lifetime of resolve. The only thing I was, Elise, was blind. Get out of my wife's sight, my wife. The words were a lock clicking shut that broke her. With a sound that was half sob, half snarl, she turned on her stiletto heel. The crowd parted like the Red Sea, a gauntlet of averted eyes and cold stares. The whisper of her dress was the only sound as she was escorted, not to the main exit, but to a side service entrance, a final, humiliating detail. She wasn't even granted a dramatic exit through the fairy-lit vineyard. She was ushered out past the dumpsters and the delivery vans, back into the obscurity she'd crawled out of. The moment the tent flap closed, behind her, the energy in the room shifted. The tension didn't evaporate, it transmuted. It became a unified, electric current of solidarity. Leo's father, a man of few words, stood and raised his glass high. To the truth, he boomed. And to my new daughter, who knows how to defend her family. A roar of approval went up. Glasses clinked. The string quartet, with impeccable timing, struck up a vibrant, triumphant song. But the real moment was between Leo and me. He crossed the space and took my face in his hands. His eyes were wet but clear. "You knew," he whispered, awe in his voice. "You knew she might come. You were prepared." I knew her type, I corrected softly, wiping the smudged lipstick from his cheek with my thumb. I just made sure everyone else did, too. The rest of the night was not tainted, it was purified. The scandal had burned away the last pretense, the last ghost. Our wedding became a legend, not for an uninvited guest, but for the epic, public takedown that followed. The video, which I'd made as a private insurance policy, became our shared shield. It wasn't a dirty secret. It was our origin story. We learned later, through the grapevine, what happened to Elise. The video, of course, didn't stay private. A friend at the wedding recorded the screen on their phone. In the age of digital vindication, it spread through Leo's and her old social circles like wildfire. The golden ticket persona she'd cultivated in Europe collapsed. Her new, wealthy boyfriend saw it and ended things immediately. She became a cautionary tale, a meme of karmic justice. In our extended network, her business of trading on charm and other people's assets was permanently bankrupt. As for us, we left for our honeymoon under a canopy of stars that felt truly earned. There were no more ghosts between us. The past had been settled, publicly and definitively. My husband's ex made a surprise appearance at our wedding. She came to poison a perfect day, so I had a special video message played for her. I didn't scream, I didn't fight, I simply pressed play on the truth. The truth didn't just embarrass her, it erased her. It rewrote the narrative of our day from a potential tragedy to a legendary victory. Revenge is not always about causing new pain. Sometimes, it's about administering the antidote in front of everyone who ever believed the poison was perfume, and watching the illusion dissolve, leaving nothing but the bitter, ugly reality behind.